Welcome back to live coverage of Bazaar of Mox in Strasbourg. We're about to get underway with round number 6. It's Riley Knight alongside Patrick Dickman, the Modern Master. Great pleasure to have your company as well, wherever you are around the world. We're going to head down to table 1 of the feature match area, get underway now, and Patrick got a special one right now because there are only 5 players left in the tournament who are undefeated. Only 5 undefeated players left. One of them.
Are you counting in the draw from last turn? Or is it 7 undefeated players? I don't know.
Only 5. Only 5 in the... Oh, no, 7 if you close... Oh, yeah, sure.
If
okay.
you count
all right. 5-0 players. 5-0 players. Only 5 players who are 5-0. Anton Karlinski is one of them. He's on the left-hand side of your screen. This is a guy, if you've been following the Bazaar of Moxon series throughout the year, he'll be very familiar to you. Not only did he pick up a top 8 in the legacy in the vintage at our last stop in Annecy, Patrick, he also won the entire legacy tournament.
Ooh.
Playing this deck,
Eldrazi.
Eldrazi's been a new deck on the scene in Legacy. It's taken a while to pick it up, but very powerful in this format, mate.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, you get to play so many of the soul lands, like lands that produce 2 mana to cast your spells, and that's like, well, you get to play it up to 16. I mean, not everyone is playing this many, but at least they're all playing Eldrazi Temple, Ancient Troops, City of Traitors, and Eye of Ugin. So yeah, that's a lot of exploration. You get to power out a lot of permission artifacts, namely Chalice of the Void. And I mean, if you combine Chalice of the Void with fast pressure, that's really good because you'll be able to lock out your opponent out of the game just long enough to like beat them down with reality smashes.
We saw this in Modern, just how oppressive this could be.
Yes.
With only 8 soul lands, Eye of Ugin and the Temple. In Legacy, not only are you working with up to 16, and as you say, not all the time, not necessarily 16 are being used all the time. But Chalice of the Void is even more backbreaking on 1 in Legacy. I mean, half the format costs 1 mana.
Yeah, absolutely. Chalice of the Void, definitely one of the more threatening things to do on turn 1, especially when being on the play.
And this is why we've seen, I think, Eldrazi breathe a little bit of life back into these green-black mid-range sort of these sorts of mavericky decks that don't rely so much on the brainstorms of the format.
That are just casting value creatures and powerful spells.
Yeah, because Eldrazi really is a pressure valve for that sort of stuff. Again, I mean, there are so many decks that are just stone cold to a Chalice for 1.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is why Force of Will exists, right?
Yeah, I know. I mean, Legacy without Force of Will is just impossible to think of. So. Yeah, we see. We can see. I think Anton is taking a mulligan here, while Tom seems to be happy with his opener.
Tom Kellock playing lands. We've seen him as well out of England. He's a regular on the BoM circuit as well. He'll be looking to put up some strong numbers today. A 5-0 start is obviously the perfect start to your tournament. Exactly where you want to be, sitting on table 1 at the end of round number 5, beginning of round number 6, and he'll be looking to close out the Swiss very strongly here, make a run at the top 8.
How's the matchup in your opinion?
Look, I think it comes down again, as these things so often do to the Tabernacle.
Yeah.
The Tabernacle at Pendrell Vale can mean that the Eldrazi deck doesn't have the anywhere to extend or the explosiveness like that. And also, I think it comes down to how many wastelands you draw as well. Yeah, because a wasteland, especially after something like a City of Traitors or something like that, can be just enormous. And I mean, we'll see what happens here with Kellogg's draw. It looks like Karlinski's happy enough to play. Oh, and look at this. Here we see.
Yeah, this is what we're just talking about. Chalice for 1. And this locks down quite a bit.
In Kellogg's deck that costs 1 is Gamble, Crop Rotation, Exploration, of course, things like Mana Bond or anything else like that. But the key card, Life from the Loam, costs 2.
Yeah.
Here is the Chalice of the Void, but yes, in so many matchups here, Patrick, a Chalice for 1 would just be, it's lights out for so many decks. Here's Eye of Ugin, something I'm sure you're very glad that isn't around in Modern anymore.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was considering whether or not it was time for restrictions in Modern.
Oh,
because
yes.
I was kind of unhappy that they hit Tron. I mean, it's not a deck that I want to play, but Tron was not a deck that deserved being hit. And since they had to remove Eye of Ugin from Modern, and there's only either ban it or play 4 copies, I was considering restrictions, but it would probably warp the format too much and be very complicated to handle.
Yeah, I think it would certainly add the layers. Look, for my part, I was thrilled when the Eye of Ugin went. I mean, the fact that Tron just had unbeatable late game against blue-based control decks, and that was taken away somewhat with this. So I was very, very happy.
Yeah, I know. It was the same for me. Like it was frustrating to play against Tron with Eye of Yugin. But still not sure whether or not restrictions will be a thing one day. I doubt it though.
Meta reshape the play for Karlinski here on turn 2. He's got a 3/2 that's going to hit the red zone pretty soon. Kellogg on his side of things got a handful of lands.
As it often is with the land stack.
Yes, 36 or 37, usually the industry standard. We see Tiger number 2. Have already cycled a Tranquil Thicket there. And Kellogg doesn't have anything else to do here.
Maybe the Chalice is locking him out of the game right now. Like I didn't get to see his hand very well. There's Punishing Fire. There's another Eye of Yugin. Not what you want to see with Meta Reshape when you already have Eye of Yugin in play.
Bit of a blank ski. Here is an endless one. X equaling 6 here. So that Meta Reshaper off on a very oddly placed graveyard there for Karlinski. It's not amongst his tap lands. And let's have a look here at Endless One. Endless One, I mean, we've seen this really at all levels, all formats, haven't we? It got played in Standard for a while. It's been played obviously in Modern.
There was this Hardened Skates deck that used
right.
the Endless One,
So a multi-format all-star. Yes, here it is.
Well, maybe not an all-star, but
finally the XX for X here that many people are excited by. Oh, and look at this, the exploration. Karlinski does not miss a trick. Doesn't forget about it. Sometimes you can just get them. Sometimes you just go exploration again. Oh, yeah, sure, like that. Sometimes, but no.
Does it work like that with Chalice? Is it a trigger that you have to remind yourself?
It's a trigger. Yeah.
I mean, I'm also always pointing at the Chalice when someone tries that.
Just your finger hovering over it like a button, that's right.
Look at this.
There's exploration, as we see. It does cost 1, away it goes. Here is
an attack for 6, and another Chalice, this time for 2.
This time for 2, so that's going to lock the life from the Loams out here.
So this might actually lock Tom Kellogg entirely out of the game.
I don't think there are any spells in his deck that cost any other than 1 or 2.
Yeah.
No, Punishing Fire, Gamble, Life from the Loam.
I mean, of course, he might still go for like, okay, here's my
Married Large.
Married Large, exactly, but he does not seem to have that right now.
No. And the Glacial Chasm here is eventually going to eat up his life total. I like Karlinski's attack into it though.
Yeah.
Get you for 6, yeah, sure, take 0.
Yeah. And he tries it again, and again it won't
I
work.
love this. This is great. This is really good stuff. I don't think Karlinski's going to miss it though. I mean, this is a guy who knows his way around to 75 cards in Legacy. This guy's
absolutely.
He's done it time and time again. Are we going to see an attack this time?
No attacks. Boring.
Boring. Okay. So Kellogg takes 4 now, goes down to 13 after putting a counter on the. Also down to 13 here.
Yeah.
So Glacial Chasm's a real nice one when you can sacrifice it, bring it back with Life from the Loam, replay it, or whatever you like, that sort of thing. But here it's
not that great, and it's simply buying you a turn or 2, but you won't be able to cast any spells.
So here is Glacial Chasm. You can see the From the Vaults version. So it costs you 2 not just 2 life a turn, 2 cumulative life a turn.
It goes up, yeah.
So 2, 4, 6, and then 8 life. And here it says, you. Basically, just combat doesn't happen for you anymore. You can't attack and you wouldn't take any damage. And that's not just combat damage as well. For some reason, a lightning bolt shot over the Glacial Chasm will fizzle as well.
That's all damage, yeah. Not lifeless though, but anything else.
So, Kellogg pays 6 now.
Yeah.
This is his last turn with this
This is going to be the last turn that he gets to hide behind the Glacial Chasm.
Okay, and we're going to see here is a Grove of the Burn Willows. Back over to Karlinski. He's just playing the waiting game. He doesn't have to do anything else here. Ship it back.
And you can actually start activating Eye of Yugin now. I mean, not that it matters very much. But.
Okay. Oh, I see.
I think he made a fast message a copy of.
Yeah. And sacrifice, because obviously you have to sacrifice the land. Is that? The gamble being counted as well there.
And also netting a life for Antonov. Because he had to tap Grove of the Burn Willows for red mana.
Very nice. So that if that, but if that Glacial Chasm, if the Thespian Sage copied the Glacial Chasm, you wouldn't have to sacrifice a land because it's already in play.
He sacrificed his original Glacial Chasm because it was ticking up. He had to pay the commander.
Oh, he just paid. He sacrificed it. Yeah. He sacrificed to its own trigger.
Yeah, to its own trigger, of course.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to. You don't have to sacrifice a land if you make a copy of a Glacial Chasm. Of course not.
Thespian Sage just says 2 mana, activate, and it becomes a copy of target land.
Endbringer in the hand of Karlinski now.
So he'll be playing the waiting game. You gotta find his Marit Lodge. So it's the what's the name of the land again?
Dark Depths.
Dark Depths. Yeah, I knew it was something with depths, but
the darkest of depths, man.
Darkest depths.
Dark Depths, and we've got Endbringer in the hands of Karlinski. Yeah. Endbringer used as something of a finisher for these decks here. Here's the Thought Not Seer.
But Endbringer will also prevent the Marit Lodge kill because it can tap creatures, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think that there is any way out of this game for Tom Kellogg.
Karlinski has it well and truly locked up.
Yeah.
And here, the Life from the Loam is exiled. There's Thought Not Seer, a card we're all very familiar with, of course. It's, again, multi-format all-star, and I'm sure sure you're amongst the people who are very happy to see it depart from Modern. Well, they're still getting played in these.
Still seeing played. There's Bundle Eldrazi, and I'm quite confident that we're going to see a lot of it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Eldrazi, they are just good cards.
Yeah, you can hear the excitement, enthusiasm, the vigor I had in my voice for when it comes to this deck.
Absolutely.
So Kellogg desperately clinging to some kind of hope here, but this is really.
This is probably Anton's game to win. Like, I don't see how Tom Kellogg is getting out of this.
No, he's very well and truly Kellogged out of the game here. Endbringer drawing Karlinski extra cards as well. It's all coming up Karlinski.
Yeah. He'll be down to 1, and I think he can survive 1 more turn by just doing that same trick again.
The same little trick.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
But after that, it's probably going to be lights out.
Well, we'll see if Kellogg can find something here. Another Maze of Ith in hand.
There's another Thespian Sage and another Maze of Ith in hand, so he can actually survive for 2 more turns.
Okay, it's going to be Thespian Stage now, the plan.
Meanwhile, Endbringer's drawing cards.
Karlinski drawing another card of his Endbringer. Interesting piece of technology, Endbringer in Legacy. We never saw it in Modern.
Yeah, no, never saw it in Modern, never saw it in Standard.
But in Legacy, the ability to draw extra cards, and well, that's the main one, I would say.
Yeah, but you also get to tap down cards, you get to ping opponents, and you also get to cheat it out so much faster.
Yeah.
With so many more soul lands.
Here's a Displacer. This card's led to some truly insane game states.
I was about to bring this up. I was wondering whether or not Anton was just playing colorless Eldrazi or also playing Eldrazi Displacer, because as soon as he was playing Caves of Coilers, you don't play that for no reason.
No, that's true. We see that sometimes for cards out of the sideboard, and I would say the Caves of Coilos out of all of the Pain lands is the one that we see the most in the Eldrazi decks for the white and black options that it gives.
I've also seen green and white Eldrazi actually, and I think it's not bad because you get access to Worldbreaker.
Okay.
And Worldbreaker against lands, for example, is not bad. And,
we saw Brad Nelson bringing back Worldbreaker after Worldbreaker thanks to Drownyard Temple, and much easier ways to do that in Legacy, of course.
Yeah. Yep. Probably copying.
We're going to see this trick once again. Oh yes.
Glacier,
oh, look at this. Kellogg is going down swinging.
He does not want to die, but now he realizes it's over.
The writing is on the wall for Kellogg, and we're going to go to game 2 with these guys. But interesting to see Patrick Dickman. The fact that at the beginning of this round we talked about the fact that Chalice for 1, Chalice for 2, such a backbreaking play. We see Chalice for 1 on turn 1. We see Chalice for 2 shortly thereafter, and that's lights out for Tom Kellogg.
Yeah, there was nothing you could do. Absolutely, if you're on the play, and those Chalices they hit. It's bad times.
That's the way it goes. So Kellogg is going to have to find something in his sideboard. You can see he's got chalices of his own, not what he's going to be looking at. Any kind of removal spells, or certainly maybe Crows and Grip, something like that, to take care of those chalices.
I'm quite confident that there's some sort of enchantment or artifact removal.
We'll move it over to table number 2 now. You can see there on your screen the players on the right-hand side are still going at it here. So let's check in with what's going on. Looks like we've got a Miracles deck.
Miracles against Strasbourg, yep.
Oh yes, a classic matchup of the ages. Very unfortunately, how good Port is playing the old lands in front of spells. Not a fan of that. Not a fan of seeing that.
I also never I never do this, but I know plenty of players who do it.
Oh, your friend and mine, Valentin Mackel as well.
Yeah, exactly.
That's one of the worst culprits.
Exactly, he always does it.
Oh, and so lucky. Look at this good walk with the Terminus.
That's a clutch hit.
That is a very nice one there. Away go the away. I mean, hitting most critically the Creeping Tar Pit.
Yeah, Creeping Tar Pit is a big problem for Miracles, and I mean also doing.
It's a big problem for Shardless Bug. Yeah. I mean, it's a huge having one of your lands into the battlefield tap, and it's so slow. But I mean, you have to do it. You got to kill Jace.
I know, and this is exactly what he wanted to do, and he failed to do it. And now Jace is in play.
Jace lives on.
Counterspell for the Ancestral Vision means that there is no extra cards being drawn.
So really, Moishwitz, his game plan is being thwarted at every angle, but here's Liliana of the Veil. This is a nice sort of counter punch here.
Yeah.
But it's going to be force. Jeez, Good Pod just has it all. He's just got it all, mate.
Pretty nice spot with Jason's pay.
Yeah, absolutely. So having a look here with the top.
I mean, at 7 life, he certainly has some life to work with.
Oh, with an active Jace as well.
Active
Jace, active top. I think that this
is tough times for Fabian.
Absolutely, spiraling out of control for Moishwitz here. He's going to check in with what he can find top of his deck. It's just a little land, and he says go. And
says go, and what is this?
This is predict. This is
predict.
Again, we've seen a huge we've seen a huge uptick in the card predict, just as a simple little divination, and it's done a lot of work, and it's actually enough here for Moishwitz to say
I really like this concession though. I mean, he knows that the writing's on the wall, that he's not getting back in this game. Instead, just wrap it up and have enough time to finish games 2 and 3.
That's right. Nice. We're going to move it back over to table number 1. These guys are nearly ready to get back at it, but I think that's a really good point you make there, Patrick. Something that Miracles players have talked about for years is when to concede themselves to conserve the clock. They know that if they're beaten, if there's no way for them to get out of it, or to play very aggressively when they're ahead. But the opposite is true for their opponent. They need to know when they're beaten, when to concede. Exactly. Because you need time to win. Because
Miracles can just continue playing this game for a good 15 minutes, and everyone knows Miracles is going to win, but he's just not pulling the trigger, not killing him yet. And then you'll have 10 minutes for game 2, and that's just very hard to finish the match.
So a timely concession there from Moishwitz, and he'll be hoping that in game number 2 his post-board cards, maybe the Pithing Needle's coming in, maybe an extra Abrupt Decay or 2 maybe in the board. It's interesting to see the way these bug decks are configured, because always the Shardless decks have different postures.
Yeah, of course. There's a lot of options. I mean, there's probably additional discard spells in the sideboard. Not too much also that I can think of right now. Maybe a Nylrod for Divining Top. I mean, it's not a great solution.
No,
probably better.
Pithing Needle better. Sometimes a Golgari Charm as well, which is, I mean, the worst case of the Golgari Charm is disenchanted. Sometimes it can shrink mentor tokens, if not kill them outright. If you pick your spot to do that.
Unfortunately, it doesn't work against Terminus because Terminus doesn't kill creatures.
No, you're very rarely regenerating things. I remember when it was in Standard.
Oh, you'd be regenerating quite a bit. Though.
Oh, jeez, but this is in the time of Supreme Verdict in Standard, and you're playing a blue-white deck, and you're like, right, big board, okay, well, Supreme Verdict. I mean, don't worry about it. It's resolving. It's definitely happening. And then either these bloody people with either Golgari Charm,
the charms were all very good.
Boros Charm. Oh, mate,
and I know.
I had no time for that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I mean,
it's terrible.
Yeah, this was a time when Blue and White Control received a lot of love from Wizards. Azorius Charm, Sphinx's Revelations, Supreme Verdict.
Mate, Azorius Charm.
Yeah, I know.
Just Azorius Charm.
Azorius Charm was pretty good.
And Azorius Charm, remember Azorius Charm, Boros Charm, and Boros Reckoner?
Yeah, I know.
The old infinite combo? Oh, man, that was so
really
sick.
funny. Yeah, I liked it too.
That was I think that was the best. I think
it was some fun interaction. I also loved Boros Reckoner together with Blasphemous Act.
Blasphemous Act, of course.
Hit you for 13.
Get you for 13.
Or Harvest Pine. It was also pretty cool.
That was insane. Yeah, that was a great piece of technology.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah. So here we are now with our game number 2, nearly getting underway with Karlinski and Kellogg. Kellogg will be hoping not to see. I mean, it's funny. I wouldn't characterise the Lands deck as one that is really put upon by Chalice of the Void, but I mean,
but it still was. It was still fantastic.
Absolutely,
that was also because Karlinski was on the play though.
Yeah.
Like on the draw, things are a little different because you at least will be resolving one key spell. If you get to resolve your exploration, for example, it'll be much easier.
Yeah, an exploration would have made all the difference there, and of course you can see now with Kellogg's hand, he's having to think about it. I can see a gamble.
I think both players kept here. We'll be seeing what Tom Kellogg leads with. Now only just a fetch.
So Wooded Foothills going away for Kellogg here. Both players happy with their 7.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to see a Tiger now. I saw Kellogg with this gamble in hand, and again, we've said this about the Lands deck already. A deck that doesn't mind too much where its cards end up. It's got a lot of graveyard recursion, a lot of ways to get these cards back out of the bin.
Maybe it's just going for a turn 1 Life from the Loam.
We're going to see now a Mox Diamond. Is that a Glacial Chasm being discarded?
I think so, yeah. The from the Ward one.
Nope,
he thinks better of it. Going
Wooded Foothills instead.
Yeah.
Here is the gamble. Karlinski, nothing to say about that. I mean, Eldrazi deck's not running much in the way of permission.
Well, maybe if Mental Misstep is being unbanned one
day. Mate. Oh, hello. I tell you what, actually, the permission spell that I think so important to keep in mind when you're playing against Eldrazi is Warping Whale.
Yeah, Warping Whale is really good.
When I first looked at it and said, well, it's got 3 modes, none of which do anything, but the counter, there are so many sorceries that you want to counter in Legacy.
Yep, absolutely.
And I think the biggest one that people really sort of might be surprised, or certainly have to think about, is Terminus.
Terminus and Entreat the Angels.
Yeah, because so often the power of Terminus is the fact that it's cast at instant speed thanks to top or what have you. But the fact that there's an answer for it that comes at such a low cost for the for the Eldrazi deck, and not a blue deck as well.
Yep. Yeah.
Ancient Tomb and Eldrazi Mimic this time.
Just a one Eldrazi Mimic.
Yeah. Just the old Goblin Piker on turn 1. Very strong play.
Well, it's probably not going to be Goblin Piker for long.
All right. Well, we'll see. Whatever its parent toughness become, you have to name a different vanilla creature each time.
I'll try to find one.
Here we go now with.
Is it just vanilla creatures?
Just vanilla creature. It has to be a new vanilla creature each time. That's the Patrick. That's the Dickman challenge. Here we go. So there's a Rishadan Port.
Oh, I'm lucky he's not playing anything.
Oh, he got away with it this time. There's the Eldrazi Mimic getting in for 2 now.
There's Alfugin, and you can see another Goblin Piker.
Another Goblin Piker, okay, that one's for free. Oh, now you have to name 2 different ones. Here we go.
There's so many Murphogs that are 2 in 1, I believe. There's gotta be more.
Live from the loam while Patrick Dickman has a think about it.
I'll be thinking. I'll come up with something.
Going to get 3 lands back, Kellogg there. I think he's happy with that. That's a nice little life from the loam there.
You just want it in your graveyard, and you'll get your engines. You'll get your engines running soon enough.
And 2 Rishadan Ports as well. And we're going to see Rishadan Port tapping down the Ancient Tomb in the upkeep for Karlinski here. Oh, imagine if it looked like City of Brass. Oh, buddy.
Well, I don't think that Karlinski cares about his life total too much, because the Lands deck, most of the time, it'll be attacking you with a 20/20. So
yeah, it does tend to win by degrees. Although you do get the grind fests where they will
punishing fire.
Well, they'll punish you out of the game. But yeah, for sure.
And I mean, at this point, you're losing anyway. Like, it doesn't, like, if they're killing you with the punishing fire for like 1 a turn, they're in complete control.
No, I think that's a great observation, actually, Patrick. The way that the Lands deck, it wins by huge. It wins or loses by huge margins.
Yeah.
It's never a close sort of, oh, I was on 1, he was on 2, whatever. They either win by 20 or they lose. And that's the way it goes. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, life from the loam being hit by surgical extraction, that's certainly nice for Anton. At least this is off the table.
Karlinski's brought in Tireless Tracker. This is a card that we've seen absolutely tear it up in Standard.
Yeah.
Really,
that's interesting.
Climb the ranks of Standard playability. I think surprising many people.
Well, yeah. I mean, I thought it was good, but I would not have expected it to be this good. It's very frustrating to play against. I mean, I was talking to a friend of mine, Oliver Bullock-Rothman, Austrian player, at the PT in Atlanta, and we were talking about Tireless Tracker probably being very annoying for the next 1.5 years.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's doing just that. It's very annoying, and you really don't want to see it on the opposing side of the field.
Well, it's in Kellogg's hand at this stage. It looks like he's losing all of his life from the loam here. I think Karlinski was amused to see what looked like a ghost quarter in Kellogg's hand, in Kellogg's deck there. He's having another look through it to make sure he hasn't missed anything.
I mean, I think it's correct to have a ghost quarter. Just I mean, if you wanted access to additional land destruction, and a lot of decks in Legacy, they don't even have that many basics, if any. So I mean, I can see that. Vampire Noble.
Vampire Noble?
Yeah, I could.
Okay.
I was thinking about that one already, but I'm still having trouble finding
that
options
one
for the other ones.
I
had that one already.
That one was in the chamber. Okay, so down comes the Matter Reshaper, turning those Eldrazi mimics into 3/2s, and Patrick Dickman, bam, had it ready like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah. Yeah, as I said, I'm having trouble finding options for the others. So.
That's all right. You'll get there.
Yeah.
So you can see those life from the loams. They're not going to be cast anymore out of exile, and Kellogg will be disappointed with that. He'll be still wanting to try to use his Graveyard Engine as best as possible, but that life from the loam being taken away is going to make that much harder.
He had two Dark Deaths in his hand, but he's been missing the other combo piece, the Self-Spin stage. I mean, he's facing quite some beatdown.
Yeah.
I don't think that there was a Tabernacle, and if there's a big Eldrazi from Anton next turn, it might be lights out already, or jump block from Tireless Tracker.
Kellogg here looks like playing a land before the Tireless Tracker, is that right? No, just moving it around.
It was just the Mox Diamond that he played, and he discarded Dark Depths.
The Dark Depths, no, I just saw the Tiger move around, but it must have been moved rather than played. Kellogg considering his options. There is the Tireless Tracker that can come down. There is the Tireless Tracker. Same stats as the Vampire Noble.
Yeah, but it does have abilities.
It's got a little bit more text.
Yeah,
that's right.
A little bit more text. Well, I think Vampire Noble actually has a lot of text on it.
Yeah, it's just all italicized. Yeah, that's right. Here is Tireless Tracker. Standard powerhouse that is, as you can see, seeing play in Legacy. Karlinski's going to have a quick look at it. As you can see on the screen.
Apparently not a standard player.
No, maybe not. No.
Just focusing on Legacy. But
we see this very often, don't we? I mean, professional players like yourself, you understand the challenges of juggling multiple formats, and certainly many players who are playing Legacy at this level, at the top level in Europe, aren't necessarily focused on the formats.
They're just
that
focusing
come and go.
on Legacy. And, I mean, can't blame them. I personally prefer Eternal formats.
And here's a clue now for Kellogg after playing that Windswept Heath. That's good for another clue as well. Should he want to crack it?
Right now, there's so many attackers that having just one blocker that is probably not enough. But if he gets to stabilize, the Tireless Tracker is going to be pretty good. We'll see what happens. Yeah.
Tapping down the Eldrazi Temple with the
Rishadan Port.
Port there. What's Karlinski got up his sleeve here?
I don't know, I think I saw Wasteland. I can't make out the other cards, unfortunately.
Playing him very close to his chest here, Karlinski. You'd have to say he's in the driver's seat in this position, though.
I think so, yeah. I mean, Tom Kellogg's hand looked pretty weak when he revealed it with surgical extraction.
Well, actually, I mean, okay. If it had just been, say, a Gitaxian Probe that had revealed that hand, and there's a life from the loam in the bin, I don't think it's that weak a hand. But you take away the life from the loam and the possibility of drawing the life from the loams, and all of a sudden, super unimpressive.
Yeah, I mean, you really want to fill up your graveyard with lands and find the key lands that you need, like the Glacier Chasm,
Tabernacle.
The Tabernacle,
Yeah.
things like that. And he hasn't been drawing any of these.
We're going to see a Blockerino here.
So Vampire Noble is going to trade against Vampire Noble.
Yeah. But we're going to see Vampire number 2, draw 2 cards, so a little bit of a Muldrifter impersonation here. The slowest Muldrifter in the
Very
world.
expensive Muldrifter impersonation though.
Kellogg making sure to get absolute full value from his cards, and I don't know if those clues are going to be around long enough for him to open them up, but
yeah, he really needs to find something next turn, pretty much. I think we have broken sleeve here.
Busted sleeve situation. Oh, look at that. Kellogg came prepared.
I mean,
Sticks that straight back in.
It was lucky for Kellogg, not saying lucky, but fortunate for him that Kalinski did not have another Eldrazi, because that could have been lights out on the spot.
Unfortunately for you as well, I think, because
because then I need to come up with more vanilla creatures. Yeah,
exactly. So really, it's a win-win all around.
Yeah. Please, go Eldrazi, fight! First time that I'm rooting for the Eldrazi.
There we go. So there is the Matter Reshaper, as you see. It's going to it's going to put up another after it does. It's going to make another Eldrazi Mimic.
And
Chalice for 2.
More Goblin Pikers, which they've actually been most of the game.
Yeah, that's right. They have. Yeah.
And the embarrassing thing is, it's enough right now.
This is something we see more often than you would think in games of Eternal, especially in Vintage. Yeah. You see these huge, nuclear missiles being thrown at each other, and then all that's left is people to beat each other to death with sticks.
I know, yeah.
It's amazing. You see actually 2 ones getting there after all the shots have been fired.
Yeah, because you have to fight about big cards, big cards so much, for example, and I mean, oftentimes you're just emptying your hand so fast with cards like Force of Will, or just with having so much mana available, but then you're both trading, and all that is left is 2-1s.
Yeah, that's right, and sometimes that'll be enough to get the job done. Right now, Kalinski is sitting behind 3 of them.
And I think Tom Kellogg should be at 6, if I'm not mistaken, because he was at 11 last turn, and he blocked the Matter Reshaper.
And fetched as well.
And I believe that he took 4 from the from the 2 mimics, but I might have missed something.
Kellogg cracking those 2 clues here. They are checking the live totals here.
They're checking the live totals and
and it looks like it's 6. Oh, mate, you don't miss a trick.
Wow.
Look at those. Look at those.
Look at last round.
Look at those eagle eyes, mate. Maze of Ith the play for Kellogg here.
Yeah, but I've always been a player that is focusing very much on the opponent's life totals.
Yeah.
Not in the sense of bringing them down to 0, because that's what's gonna win you most games. Oh, another Vampire Noble.
Look at this. Yes, look at this. The Matter Reshaper chucked onto the battlefield and getting rid of that Maze of Ith.
That's gonna be
enough for Tom Kellogg. So well done, Anton Kalinski, the defending legacy champion here at Bazaar of Moxen, has taken it once again and is now 6
to a 6-0 start.
And he cannot be beat.
Yeah,
he cannot be beat. He's done so well. Look at that. Still had all the easy skills. Look at this. There you go.
Yeah, that was just his entire board and all the cards. I think he's just shuffling up and looking for sideboard cards.
All right. Well, be that as it may, he's done very well. Any way you slice it, he's really put himself in a very strong position to close out the Swiss nicely. I mean, locked for top 8, you would say.
I think so. Yeah. I think there should just be. I mean, 6-1-1 is. Might make it, and he might just go draw. I mean, there's going to be 3 6-0s after this round, I believe. Oh, it depends.
It depends if there are any draws, but there's going to be at least one other player from the other table, and then we can check in with we've got a 15 playing a 13, so it depends on
the outcome of that match, of course. But I think he should be locked for top 8. Tom Kellogg, not so much. At least has to win 1 more.
As we welcome you back to the booth, ladies and gentlemen, so good to have your company once again here at Bazaar of Moxen, Strasbourg. It's been great to see Kalinski continue on this again, as we've mentioned, defending champion. So he's got his title to defend. He'll be looking to that as well. But Kellogg, I mean, not out of it at this stage.
No, absolutely not. I mean,
can still dig deep.
Yeah, I mean, his draws his deck kind of refused to work a little bit, especially under the pressure of several challenges of the Void being played. So. Certainly not out of it.
Well, we continue to see the rise of the Eldrazi here in Legacy. They've left Modern, and this is where they've come to hang out a little bit. But also, of course, they're hanging out at the moment in Innistrad. The Eldritch Moon spoilers are upon us, and we got together and had a chat about some of them a bit earlier on today. So Right now, we're going to bring you some of our thoughts on some of the spoilers that have come out of Eldritch Moon, but after that, don't go anywhere. Round number 7, we'll be back at you, Cleopatra, before very much longer. We'll see you very soon back here at Bazaar of Mox in Strasbourg.
More magic to come.